What's going on? Come here, gotcha. What's going on, everybody? Oh, my baby. Do you guys have me on Snapchat? If you don't, please do, because I add pictures. He's like, oh, please, God, stop. I add pictures or videos of my cats all the time. I'm not a cat person, I swear. I actually like dogs. But I love them. They act like dogs. But as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about 5 things that you do and that he does, just and everyone effing does, that ruins a relationship. Now, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I will love you forever, along with the little bell notification. And if you want to get a session with yours truly, dun, 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 links in the description. Oh, and one more thing. I want you to leave a comment below. I'm thinking about making a course on attraction, right? I am making a course on attraction because I'm making a guide on it right now. So I might as well just add. Oh my God, I hit my cat. Oh, my baby. Oh, look at you. Ooh. You okay? Oh, shit. Okay. No. God, this is so unprofessional. Come on, try to be professional here, cat. This is Elliott Scott headquarters. Oh, my God. Guys, I am so. Oh, shit. Don't look at my crotch, guys, perverts. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, we can start the video here, I guess. But I'm making a course on. Oh, you better move out of the way. That thing banged you in the head. Oh. I'm making a course on attraction. So if you want to write something down below that you want me to add to it, I could do that. Okay. Now, as you can see, things we do to ruin the relationship. God. Oh my God, I'm so unprofessional. Screw it. We're doing it like this. Sorry, hold on. Okay, we're doing it like this. Suckers. Okay, things we do that ruin relationships. I have them written down. Holy shit, 2 minutes in. Now I know why people don't subscribe, because I take forever to do my shit, my ADHD. Number 1, okay, is I say this all the time, and I'm going to keep saying it because I talk to every client about it. You get in your own head all the time. Everyone gets in their own head to the point where, and I don't blame you. I totally do not blame you. I've been there, done that. It's like you're going crazy. You can't help it. You literally cannot help it. And you start to focus on little things, such as I had a client one time who was like, well, in the beginning, he used to text me right away. Now he takes about 15 to 30 minutes to respond. And I'm like, what? Like, is that really what you're worried about? Is he still responding? Yeah. Well, then don't worry about it. Just chill. I mean, it's things like that. I know so many women that just go crazy over it, and I feel like what happens when they get out of it. Come on, gotcha. Here's number 2. Oh, my favorite one. But I feel like what happens is you become your own worst enemy. And then things really start to unravel, because then you start seeking validation. You need approval. You have an insecurity because of what's going on. Like, oh, is he leaving? What's he thinking? And you need to fill that void, right? And usually people do it the wrong way by either chasing, asking too many questions, digging too deep, finding things they don't. I mean, just it's a lot of things. So I feel like if you want to get into a relationship, you need to not only work on yourself and him. I'm talking, if a guy's watching this, I mean it to him too. Guys and girls, you got to work on yourself. Those insecurities, confidence, trust, especially, that shit eats you up, right? I always say, to have a healthy relationship, you have to have a healthy foundation. That's 2 healthy individuals in the like mind, or the healthy ego, I call it in previous videos, okay? So number 2 is, and this happens a lot too now, you expect things to be the same as they were in the beginning. I had 3 clients with this week who were basically, actually last week, 3 clients who were basically comparing, and it's only been a month. Only been a month they've been talking to this guy, and they're like, well, he's not doing the things he was doing in the beginning. He still sends me the good morning text, he still talks, but I could tell something's up. And I tell women all the time that be wary of it, of course, but at the same time, you need to understand that a man's actions, and again, I think I said this in my last video or 2 videos ago, are never going to be the same as they were in the beginning. You just can't give a woman all that, all those resources. You burn out, she burns out, or the dynamic changes, such as the guy might feel like he's losing power. Even if the woman's very grateful for him, he might feel that he's losing power, and not he might not be in as masculine, because it's like, well, why am I not getting, just all these things. If he's always initiating, great. If he's always reaching out, texting, wanting to see you, great. But don't expect that to happen long term, okay? Like I said, you have to have an attraction or a communication, I think, vibe or thing, whatever, that's stable, that you're able to maintain. Of course, a lot of good things isn't good. It's overstimulation. It gets too sensitive, right? And I think someone will pull away or take it for granted or take advantage of it. See it happen all the time. And of course, no contact sucks too. So you have to have a very good, stable type of communication that's able to maintain satisfaction. And of course, we can go into like, attachment types, avoidant, and all that kind of stuff, if you want me to make a video on that. Number 3 kind of goes with number 1, is seeking validation. Again, people get in their heads so much, they seek validation. And when you seek validation, you're going down a path that is not good. I always tell women, and again, I say women because I'm talking to women. It can be men too. There's a reason you want this validation, and you need to ask yourself why. And if it's more of a me problem, or you problem, if it's more of a problem that you have in your head, and he's not necessarily doing something wrong, then you need to chill, bite your tongue, and realize, okay, there might be other ways to fix this, okay? Number 4 is not being on the same page in the beginning. Now, women will say, but Elliot, you tell me not to bring it up. Hey, come here. Women tell me, you tell me not to bring it up, Elliot, in the beginning. No, that's true. Totally, I don't think you should. Honestly, because several reasons. 1, he could be bullshitting you. 2, he could be telling you the truth, but that doesn't mean you're qualified, or that doesn't mean you're guaranteed a relationship. I say this all the freaking time. I know I sound like I'm beating a dead horse in my videos, but hey, if you and I were dating and I'm like, yeah, I want a relationship, I could be 100% honest. But that doesn't mean it's going to be with you. That doesn't mean that, what I'm feeling with you now on this first date is going to be the same as I'm feeling with you on the 8th date. Maybe 2 months down the road, I'm just not feeling it. So I'd rather you just not bring it up, and you just working on build attraction, because when you build attraction, things fall in place. Guys tend to do more for women that they're very attracted to, right? So get him to desire you, to become obsessed with you, and then I don't want to say manipulate, but then negotiate what you want. But a lot of women, what happens, and again, beating a dead horse, said it in my last 2 videos, I feel like a lot of women will, they know what they want. Like, obviously, you probably want a relationship if you're watching these videos, and they realize the guy's not on the same page. But then what do? They sit around and hope for change. That's where the woman needs to say, no, dude, nice try. That's not going to happen. You're a nice guy. I know you don't mean any harm. You're treating me more than well. But we're not on the same page. If you change your mind, let me know. I'll see you later. Peace. And she needs to cut him off. But a lot of women can't do that, okay? Not because you're a woman, just because, again, if you're watching this video, you want a relationship and he can't give it to you. So you need to be on the same page, because later on down the road, when you're not on the same page, that's where these other problems start happening. And then that's where you call Mr. Elliot Scott and Elliot Scott headquarters. Now, I don't know where I'm at now. This isn't my headquarters, but yeah. So number 5, I have a story for this one, and my client said I can use it, is a lack of sacrifice. People are not willing to sacrifice things, such as you, with number 4, I just said that you're not willing to sacrifice the guy and throw him to the damn wolves and say, hey, you're gone, right? And guys aren't willing to sacrifice their freedom or what, and things to be, or choices to be with you, right? So let me give you an example of this. I had a client, and I had her several times already. She's awesome. She's cool as hell, especially for letting me use this example, where she was going on a date with this guy, and this guy was cool. Her and this guy were cool. And I think, what was it that did he want? I think he wanted Chinese. One of them wanted. We'll say he wanted Chinese, and he really wanted Chinese, and she wasn't really feeling it. She didn't really like Chinese, but he was so adamant on Chinese food. And she told me about, and to the point where he kind of was throwing a little hissy fit, like, dude, let's just have Chinese food. And she's like, oh, okay, let's do it. But she told me, should I worry about that? Is that a red flag? And I told her, that is a red flag, but I wouldn't worry about. I'd keep it in mind because it's going to say something about him later on, right? Like especially in the beginning when a guy is supposed to court a woman, provide, satisfy, win her over, and he's not willing to give up. I mean, dude, you can eat anything. You can have Chinese food another day, right? But the fact that he wasn't willing to give that up to me, that's a red flag. Now, you might not see that as a big deal, but I'm going to tell you why it is. And she's like, and I told her, hey, just keep that in the back of your mind, right? I mean, that's kind of weird that he just wasn't willing to just give that up, especially if you're not wanting it. And she's like, okay, cool. So then 2 months later, I think it was 2 months later, she calls me again, and her and the guy break up. And the whole reason they broke up was because, well, there's a lot of reasons why. The guy basically couldn't sacrifice, the guy couldn't sacrifice anything for the relationship. Instead of hanging out with her, he wanted to go hang out with friends, right? Instead of, him wanting to spend time with her and like, for example, they had a weekend together or a date together where they're supposed to go out to a movie or a concert or something. They're supposed to go out and do something. And then he said, no, let's not do that. You know what? I don't really want to do that. She's like, well, okay, even though that was the plan. And then on top of that, he brings his friends over and starts hanging out with his friends instead of her because this was their moment together. And then on top of that, she's like, okay, well, I'm going to bed. It's 4 a.m. And she wanted him to come with her, but he was still hanging out, going down in bed with his friends. And he says, you know what? No, I don't want to. And then so she's like, okay, whatever. So she comes back again later on and says, hey, you know what? And you want? It's pretty late now. He says, no, I'm busy. He just was not making any sacrifice. And this is just one example. She was telling me several. He was just not making any sacrifices in the relationship, and they broke it off, right? And I'm telling women, you have to look at this stuff from the beginning. That one thing I told her to keep in mind, right, in the beginning with the Chinese food, because while it doesn't seem like a big deal, it is a small little glimpse into what could happen in the future. And this guy, he's a 29-year-old guy. I think he has from what she was telling me about this guy, he has a very immature mindset. He was not looking to sacrifice. And I told her, just because I like you, and stuff, that again, that's one thing. She's like, well, he was doing all this stuff in the beginning, he was doing this, he was doing that. Yeah, because you weren't asking him for anything. It was just you two hanging out and having a good time. But as soon as you started becoming a couple and you have to make we decisions, not you and I, it's a different story. Because as soon as he had to start sacrificing, which is a big, big, important thing in relationships, he couldn't do it. He just wasn't in that relationship mindset. You have to make sacrifices in a relationship, both sides. And he wasn't willing to do that, so they broke up, right? So sacrifice is very important, ladies. Now, with that being said, we're almost 14 minutes in this video. I am so sorry. Lack of professionalism. Elliot's got the best dating coaches slacking. Again, extremely sorry. I love you, ladies. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Just click the red button below. I spit there. Love you. Take care and peace.